We live in a world hungry for hope. Picture this. You're in the drive-thru, groggy from a long night or a rough morning. You finally make it to the window, fumbling for your card, and the cashier says, "You're good. The car in front of you paid for your coffee." What just happened? A complete stranger gave you a gift, expecting nothing in return. You're stunned. Your day just shifted, not because you saved a few bucks, but because you were seen. Someone thought of you, without even knowing you, and that moment might change everything. This, my friend, is the power of paying it forward. Once a movement, now a rare spark in a dark world, pay it forward is more than a kind gesture. It's a chain reaction of goodness, a ripple of grace that spreads far beyond what we can see. And yet, like many beautiful ideas, it's been fading. Overshadowed by cynicism, busyness, and a culture obsessed with self. But what if it didn't have to fade? What if, in 2025, we revived it, boldly and biblically? In the New Testament, Matthew chapter 5 verse 16 says, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." This video isn't just about coffee or groceries. It's about reviving the practice of selfless kindness, reigniting a movement that reflects the heart of God, and reminding a broken world that compassion still lives. So pause the scroll, lean in. Because what you're about to rediscover isn't just a nice idea, it's a spiritual weapon. A way to wage goodness in a world gone cold. And maybe, just maybe, it starts with you. Like this video if you've ever been blessed by someone's kindness. Drop a comment with a time you paid it forward, or someone paid it forward to you. Let's light up the comments with hope. The ripple effect. Stories that changed lives. Every act of kindness is a seed, and when planted in love, it doesn't just grow, it multiplies. Take the story of Kevin Turf, a stranded airline passenger during 9/11 who was rerouted to the small town of Gander, Newfoundland. The town's 10,000 residents took in over 6,500 strangers, feeding them, housing them, comforting them for days, no questions asked. Kevin was so moved by their selfless generosity that he started a tradition. Every year on 9/11, he performs random acts of kindness in honor of those Gander residents. It became his way to pay it forward, and now thousands join him in cities across the US and beyond. Or consider the miracle of $100. A man walking into a Waffle House in North Carolina quietly left $100 tips for 8 different servers. No camera, no social media. Just quiet, shocking generosity. The stunned waitstaff wept. One woman said, "I've been struggling. I was going to quit tomorrow." But that single gesture? It gave her enough hope to hang on. That's the ripple. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 25 says, "Whoever brings blessing will be enriched, and one who waters will himself be watered." When we give, we don't just lift others, we lift ourselves. The joy, the clarity, the sense of purpose that comes from seeing someone else breathe easier because of something you did? It's priceless, and contagious. One woman on X, formerly Twitter, shared this. "I paid for the groceries of the mom ahead of me in line. She had 3 kids and her card declined. She cried. Her little boy hugged me. I cried too. That $42 changed my life more than hers." And that's the beautiful irony. When you pay it forward, you think you're blessing someone else. But often, you're the one who walks away transformed. Romans chapter 12 verse 21 urges us. "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." In a world filled with fear, anger, division, paying it forward is rebellion. Holy rebellion. It says, "I refuse to be part of the cold. I will be the warmth." So whether it's a coffee, a bill, a kind word, or a meal, it matters. Because the ripple always goes further than you'll ever see. Jesus and the blueprint of generosity. Long before hashtags and Hollywood movies, the original "pay it forward" movement began with Jesus Christ. He didn't give with conditions. He didn't love with limits. He gave, healed, forgave, fed, washed feet, and ultimately laid down his life, knowing that many would never thank him. follow him, or pay him back. This is radical generosity. And it wasn't just about miracles or salvation. It was a lifestyle. A rhythm of living that flipped the world upside down, where the first would be last, and the greatest among you would be your servant. In Luke chapter 6 verses 35 to 36, Jesus said, "But love your enemies, and do good, and lend, expecting nothing in return, and your reward will be great. Be merciful, even as your Father is merciful." Notice that? Not, lend and get repaid. Not, be kind to those who deserve it. Just do good, period, without strings. That's the kingdom. When Jesus fed the 5,000, no one prepaid. When he forgave the woman caught in adultery, she didn't earn it. When he healed the blind and raised the dead, there was no transaction, no invoice, no expectation. Only compassion. Even on the cross, in agony, bleeding, betrayed, he looked at the criminal beside him and said, "Today you will be with me in paradise." Luke chapter 23 verse 43. And he meant it. This is the blueprint. And for us, his followers, we are called not just to admire it, but to replicate it. Not just to remember, but to represent him to the world. Imagine this. What if every Christian made it their mission to perform one intentional, anonymous act of kindness every week, just because Jesus did? The impact would be seismic. Because the world is not desperate for another sermon. It's starving for proof that love still lives here. John chapter 13 verse 35 echoes this truth. "By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." The early church changed empires, not with swords, but with selflessness. They cared for widows, adopted abandoned babies, fed the poor, and paid forward the love of Christ. And the world took notice. So why not us? Why not now? Let's return to the original template of generosity, one that expects nothing back, and in doing so, unleashes heaven on earth. 21st century ways to pay it forward. In today's digital world, kindness may feel drowned out by algorithms, outrage, and endless scroll. But that only makes it more powerful, more noticeable, when it shows up. Paying it forward doesn't require wealth or fame. It just takes intentionality. A willingness to look around and say, "Who can I bless today?" Here are some 21st century ways to pay it forward. Real acts that people are doing right now. Drive-thru kindness chain. At a Dunkin' drive-thru in Florida, one woman quietly paid for the order of the person behind her. Moved by the gesture, that person paid for the next, and it kept going. Car after car, hour after hour, strangers kept the kindness alive. By the end of the day, over 378 drivers had taken part in a beautiful, unbroken chain of generosity that lasted nearly 11 hours. No one wanted to be the one to let the kindness stop. Venmo miracles. On X, people are now anonymously sending $5 to $50 to strangers during hard times, groceries, medicine, a child's birthday. Small money, but massive impact. Grocery line kindness. A man in Texas routinely finds someone at the store whose card gets declined, and pays their bill before the embarrassment sets in. Gas station angels. In Detroit, a woman keeps $20 gas cards in her glove box, handing them to struggling drivers, especially single moms or older folks. Student snack blessings. A teen in California started leaving $1 snack bags with Bible verses in high school lockers anonymously. Other students started doing the same. Now it's a school-wide tradition. And here's a wild one. A woman lost her job, but instead of despairing, she baked muffins for her neighborhood, left them with kind notes, and sparked a movement on Instagram that gained 40,000 followers and got her a new job offer. Paying it forward isn't limited to money. Sometimes the currency is time, attention, forgiveness, or simply noticing someone. Write a kind review of a struggling small business. Send an encouraging DM to someone who's always helping others. Leave an anonymous letter of hope on someone's windshield. Carry extra umbrellas to hand out when it rains. Offer your front row church seat to a latecomer or guest. No moment is too small. And the power? It's exponential. One act becomes 10, 10 becomes 50, and suddenly, hearts start softening. Walls come down, cynicism retreats. Galatians chapter 6 verse 9 reminds us, so let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. Kindness is contagious, not in theory but in practice. And in a world addicted to instant gratification, anonymous generosity is holy disruption. So ask yourself, what do I have in my hand today? My wallet, my time, my words. That could be someone else's miracle. The eternal reward. God never forgets a single act. When you pay it forward, most people will never know. No applause, no viral video, just a quiet moment between your heart and theirs. But God sees it all. Every coffee bought, every hand held, every bill paid, every tear dried, heaven keeps the receipts. And one day, you'll see them. Hebrews chapter 6 verse 10 says, "For God is not unjust so as to overlook your work and the love that you have shown for his name in serving the saints, as you still do." Let that sink in. God doesn't forget, ever. Your anonymous acts may not trend. They may not get shared. But they echo through eternity. You see, in the kingdom of God, there's no such thing as a small act. The very nature of God is generosity. He gave his Son. He gives breath. He gives life. When we give, especially without expecting anything back, we mirror the Creator. Matthew chapter 25 verse 40 captures Jesus' words. "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." That stranger you helped? That meal you paid for? That smile you gave when no one else would? It was Jesus in disguise. And here's the twist. Sometimes you will be the one in need. And someone will pay it forward to you. That's the beautiful cycle of grace. It flows both ways. In heaven's economy, nothing given in love is wasted. It's planted, and one day, it grows into something unimaginable. Even now, as darkness seems louder, our quiet acts of compassion preach louder sermons than any pulpit. They shout, there is still hope. God is still good, and his people still love. So here's the challenge and invitation. Let today be the day you start your own chain reaction. Not for fame, not for recognition, but for heaven. Because when we pay it forward, we aren't just passing on kindness, we're advancing the kingdom. Like this video if you're ready to be the spark. Comment below how you plan to pay it forward this week, or share a story that inspired you. And don't forget to subscribe for more messages that help us live with purpose, power, and love. Because the world doesn't need more opinions. It needs more action, more involvement. And that starts with you. Cheers.